Today's guest is living a proof that you don't need a big team or agency to create a service-based business. And in today's edition of Do What You Love, we'll meet a one-man powerhouse who is specialized in web building and or web development on a mission to give businesses the right to own a powerful website, which is professional, fast, and without breaking the bank. So let's welcome to the show Mr. Leonard Lim from Web Dev Hall.
Hello everyone, my name is Leonard. I'm from Web Dev Hub, an independent web development agency based in Singapore. I'm a one-man show. I do lead gen, I do outbound, I do everything on my own.
Leonard, we actually got to know through an event recently. I understand that you actually was in a naval force for some years, and maybe you can share with the audience how you make that transition to a solopreneur, or how you come about building this business.
Yeah, so to be very honest, when I started off Web Dev Hall, I was like every person that has went through the guru courses on YouTube. Like, I've seen every single video. I've seen every single guru that said about, oh, building a service-based business is so easy. So it was born out of desperation, to be fair. To be honest. So when I exited the Navy back in 2023, I was considering what else can I do with my skill sets that I have. So I took about 1 to 2 months to figure out my skills and what I needed to start this business. So back then, I was confused as a old man in transition to a new job. Yeah. So Web Dev Hall was started based on desperation, and after I left the Navy, I delved into the studies of IT, information technologies. Then I moved on to programming languages learning, and then after that, dwell into AI in the AI space, and then Web Dev Hall was born.
I did a little freelance doing website design. Did you ever kind of like do sideline business back in your early days before you make a full transition as a solopreneur?
Previously, back then when I was in the Navy, we weren't allowed to do any sort of this type of jobs. We call it moonlighting. In the
Oh,
Navy military organization, we are not allowed to moonlight at all. The only chance that I have was like in local environment. That means I'm doing on my own practice. So I was like starting on my own programming journey. I have to learn uh, basically the programming languages that are involved in web dev, and everything project is all on my own. So basically all learning processes.
I believe that you already equipped yourself with the foundations back when you were pursuing your studies.
Yeah, so back in my studies when I was still in as a polytechnic student, so back then I had the chance to mingle with like-minded people in my project team. So I also had a chance to go into an internship into a company that is quite technologically advanced, or rather tech savvy in that case, back in my time. So at that I was actually quite lucky, to be fair, when I was this if I'm that tech savvy back then. So when I had the transition from my naval days to this web dev, I did not have that much of a problem as compared to those who are just starting out.
So fast forward to now, maybe you can share us how, it is different from other agencies.
Yeah, so to when I started web dev hall, so I started web dev hall about 2024, 2 months after I left the force. So it was starting back in like February, March period, during back in 2024.
Okay.
So yeah, to be fair, I initially started off with e-commerce first. Back then there was an e-commerce boom, right? So we
Yes,
talk about
yes.
AliExpress, we talk about DSL, we talk about Shopify. There was a huge influx of online gurus talking about e-commerce, talking about drop shipping. So I went in for a month or two. So when I went in, right, I realized that there are a lot of things needed that are not explained by these gurus, such as your website, right? So the website, they say they can use Shopify, but in actual reality, if you just use Shopify, there's a lot of problems. So you need to get a Shopify developer
Yes,
to
that's
develop
right.
your website
Yes,
correct.
I can
So
read.
back then I spent money to hire a Shopify developer, and I paid quite a hefty sum for that. I'm not going to disclose how much, but I paid quite hefty for it for just a Shopify website. So I was like thinking like this cannot go on. There's no way I'm paying this amount just for the website for my own website. I went to study. I went to study and I took up knowledge on how I can build my own website. That's the start. So I figured out that what I needed was actually pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff like web hosting, buy a domain, I can start a website on my own. So why I started Web Dev Hall was because of one single purpose, because I myself suffered through this hefty sum paying for websites. I don't want small local businesses and the SMEs in Singapore to go through what I went through, paying a huge bank just for the website. So that's where Web Dev Hall is slightly different from how other agencies work.
So that explains your mission, yeah, because you empower business owners to own a cost-effective website. What's the selling point that WebDev Hall offers?
Yeah, so to be to be fair, I don't think anyone in Singapore has offered this. I'm not sure. What I do is that I offer two things. One is I build websites in a week.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
inclusive of design, inclusive of development, inclusive of all your communications up and down, drafts and everything. I do everything in 1 week, including the launch. And then after that, what I do is that I do rent the website. I provide these rent the website services such that even like I can cut the cost down even lower for business owners to own a digital identity in this Google digital space. So rent the website, how it goes is when they come to me, usually agencies charge a down payment. And then after that, when they post launch, then they charge another amount, right? So what I do is I say that okay, for the certain amount, you can rent the website from me. It depending on what functionalities you want. So the prices range, but it won't break the bank. I can guarantee it. And then after the renting period of a year, the website is just sold. And I have no how do I say I have no rights to own that website other than the owner themselves. So the owner will solely own the website. It's theirs.
I believe your clientele is mainly SMBs, small to medium businesses. Maybe you can explain to me what are the challenges do SMBs face when it comes to building their online presence?
Yeah. So this is gonna be a hard topic to talk about. So right now, what I have gathered when I try to talk to SMEs or SMBs in Singapore is that they face this thing called cash problem. So for them to build an online presence, right, there's already an oncoming cost. You have your SEO, you have your digital agent, you have your digital marketing agency, then you have your website, you also have your social media. Then you also nowadays with all the social media platforms popping up, Xiaohongshu, TikTok, everything, all of this ramps up the cost exponentially. So on my end, I have gathered that they have a lot of cash problems. So to what extent to what extent does this business we are willing to pay to have your website built with the add on all your social media, everything else? So that's one. Then the second thing is time. So SMBs in general, right? The boss takes up everything. So I'm quite sure that all bosses will agree with me. Yeah, for SMBs, they take up everything of their own business. They have no time to exit the business. So when they take up everything, they have no time to monitor what they have, what they don't have, or what are they lacking, what are they not lacking. So they seek expert advice to fill up what are they missing. But this expert advice comes again at this cost.
Uh, as a solopreneur, you provide consultation, technical advice, and even development. That's a huge role to fill, especially when you have to multitask. How do you keep up and, do you have like a process or something?
In my personal opinion, how I handle this is that you have to be exposed to many people of different traits. So I'm not saying networking is important, but it will be a core aspect of how you want to get knowledge from different fields. Like if you want to learn about marketing, digital marketing, you don't need to be an expert in digital marketing, but get to know someone who is in the digital marketing space and have them to teach you the basics of how you can tune your services to such a way that you can increase your value towards for these business owners. Then we talk about SEO. SEO also another point. So you have to know people inside this SEO space or even SEO agencies in general. You have no choice but to learn from them because there's no way you can figure it out everything on your own. There's too many, it's too wide of a range of a topic for any one person to understand. In this digital space, you got no choice but to be the jack of all trades. You have to be a master of something, but you also have to be a jack of all trades. So it is how it is right now.
And so maybe you can share with the audience what was the hardest lesson that you've learned during your journey. Share us the the positive takeaway and what are the things that you have discovered along this journey.
It's actually very, very uh, lonely, I would say, because when you are transitioning out of your previous career or your life as a student and you go into the workspace as a solopreneur, nobody understands you. Your parents were brought up in an environment where they they wanted stability, so they want you to get a stable job, then get a good salary, get married, buy a house, then do whatever, give birth to a child, whatever it is. But in this solopreneur journey, you are sometimes not allowed this type of choices. And oftentimes your parents or whoever is your significant other will never understand what you're going through. In your mind, you're always fighting your own, I would say, demons. And you cannot voice out these demons because they will never understand why are you facing this, because they are not in your situation. It's hard for them to visualize themselves in you. So a lot of times that you need to solo your own heart pill and face yourself in the mirror saying that why am I still here? A lot of questioning when you wake up every day that do I want to continue? Then that how you're gonna answer to your whoever you're answering to, your parents or your significant other, that why are you still going on this journey? Yeah. So this is the hardest part about solopreneur journey. But at the same time, the positive end of this solopreneur journey is that it's very fulfilling. So I don't have time to dwell into pointless thoughts. People usually worry, oh, Saturday where do I want to go? Or Sunday can I catch a movie? Or do I want to spend time with my girlfriend? Or what? I don't need that. There's no time. There's simply no time for that. So I, in a way, I'm living a fulfilled life right now, fulfilling life where all my time is completely filled up with things that are pushing me towards my goals. So I think if you take pride in that journey, then solopreneur is both thumbs up.
That's a very positive and encouraging statement. I think everybody, including myself, can learn from. I think I mean myself even have to struggle and keeping myself motivated, and this is a good learning point, is to instill motivation and continue to progress. And speaking of progress, how do you see the future of web development, where it is headed to, and how you can bring this into what you do as a solopreneur?
You can technically emulate what other agencies are doing. So they have already succeeded. You can emulate what are their practices. And then to add on, you can emulate what are they not practicing so that you don't commit the same mistakes. That's one. Then second thing is have a mentor. Okay. I know that solopreneur is a solopreneur, you are on your own journey, but having a mentor helps a lot. Okay. They have already went through what you are going through right now, and they can point out to you which is the best path for you to take. But having said that, do note that their opinion might not apply to your current state of thinking, your point of view, and your current life. So if you want to take up a mentorship, do note that you have to find someone who has been through your current stage in current stage. They cannot apply their already succeeded use case into you, because that's not mentorship. That's just following their footsteps, and you are who you are. If you follow their footsteps, you are no longer you. Then as for the parts whereby I have to keep up, 5 different areas. Okay, simple. 1, YouTube. 2, Reddit. Okay. 3, Facebook pages. 4, Twitter. And 5, word of mouth. Okay, these 5 things. Okay, 2 of the most important ones is Twitter and Reddit, because Reddit gives you the most unfiltered and unsolicited news of public's opinion. People will post their opinions straight up to you, and their opinions are usually actually very honest. When we talk about, let's just put an example whereby previously there was a case of remember there was a news report about having 3 billion uh 3 billion of your the data being leaked from all the different major companies like Meta. Reddit has a very, very unfiltered opinion about this use case,
Okay.
about this case in this particular context. So, and then it's up to you to decide whether how to what extent do you want to believe it. So that's one. Then Twitter also has very, very quick updates about which sector is being affected, which technology is being updated, which technology is being released, what is the latest AI tool, and what is the most hated AI tool, whatever it is. Twitter has very, very fast updates about this, provided you know what to search for.
Maybe you could probably advise, aspiring web developers or maybe solopreneurs who are venturing into web business. What do you think they should do or perhaps prepare before venturing into this territory?
Yeah, the current most important skill set right now in this entire development space is, one, the usage of AI, and 2 is how well versed are you with programming languages. That's 2. So programming languages, there are many. There's Python, there's C++, there's C Sharp, there's Java, there is oh, JavaScript, whatever you name it, there is something. There's also like a command prompt, or we said assembly. Well, there are many. So I'm not going to quote everyone. So you just have to be well versed in these 2 things. But for programming language, what I would recommend for anyone who is coming into this space be take up a few, not just one, but take up a few, and understand that how each language work in a sense. So, but then you don't have to know everything. There's no way. You cannot know everything, and you won't be able to absorb everything. So, just choose 1 or 2 programming languages and start off there, and then move on to the next part, which I'm going to talk about, is called AI. So in AI, right, in this current AI space, actually AI is actually quite infant, in the infancy stage. Despite how powerful it is, despite how much it can provide us, it is actually still quite infant. So highly recommended as a web developer is that you don't use AI to help you do stuff. Use AI to answer your questions. Like for example, if I say that, I have this bug in this code that I want to solve, you can use AI to seek advice how to solve this bug, and not ask AI straight up say that help me fix this bug. So treat it like Stack Overflow. So last time we had this very, very famous forum called Stack Overflow. It has now been sort of relegated. Now everybody move on to GitHub and AI. So use AI as sort of like the Stack Overflow that we used to use, and then it will help your journey immensely along the way. That's my advice.
And finally, meet every types of clients from easygoing to difficult. What
I
have you encountered so far?
I'll give you a quote that I always used to tell my clients,
Okay.
and before I always close them. So I always used to tell them when they come and approach me. So the quote goes like this: You already own a physical and identity.
Yeah.
Why not own a digital one? You have every right to own one, so why not have it? This is my quote for all business owners. And I truly believe that every business in Singapore deserves the right to own their own digital identity without having to pay a big bank.
That's a good quote provided by Leonard. I thank you so much for joining us in today's edition of Do What You Love and sharing us your journey behind web.com. And if you're a business owner, can reach out to Leonard Lim of web.com.
Hi, my name is Leonard. I run an independent agency once again on webdevhall.com. You can reach out to me at my email, leonard@webdevhall.com, or reach out to my WhatsApp. You can just click the link and I'll reply to you instantly.
I have leave Leonard's contacts in the description box. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and of course, do share with your fellow friends and colleagues. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep building smart, stay creative, and go boldly with your ideas. Take care.